Hey, what's up guys? This is Daniel back from Bar Shield, back with episode 91 of Bar Tip Tuesday. Today we're going to talk about as far as bending your bar and if leaving your bar in the rack is okay, especially while loaded. So the short answer, just from doing research with different barbell companies, from Alika to Rogue to Avanco, all these different companies, the consensus is yes, it will bend your bar eventually. So if you leave your bar loaded on a squat rack overnight, it's not going to bend your bar. You're not going to wake up with a bar that's completely warped. However, it is a good idea to make it a habit to strip the bar after you're done using, especially if you're in a gym with people that that are shorter. They're going to be using less weight. Don't be the guy that leaves 405 on the bar and then somebody comes in that maybe will get up to 225. So they'll have to keep stripping the weights on and off. So that's one big point. But yeah, it will over time bend your bar, so that will create a lot of issues if you do train in the Olympic lifts, particularly. So clean and jerk and the snatch. If you've had any experience completing an Olympic lift, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you've ever had a slightly bent bar, the shaft of the bar is not going to rotate smooth at all. The sleeves are not going to rotate right. So basically you have a damaged bar. So there is a term that Avanco uses on their website called the yield point. It's basically the point at which the bar starts to bend and it won't return to straightness. So you can kind of think of it as like barbell whip when you go down for a split jerk or a clean, you catch clean the bottom, you see the bar flex around you and then it returns to straight. That's kind of what I'm referring to there. So basically, just easy way to prevent is to strip the weights off. I know it sounds like common sense. You're tired after you hit your last heavy set of squats, whatever it is. But it will, in the long run, it can end with a bent barbell. So a couple other things to just think about is if you have your own personal bar or if you're a gym owner or whatever it is, get familiar with whatever barbell manufacturer you chose. Get familiar with their warranty and the fine print in that warranty. Okay, so don't just assume that if you end up with a bent barbell somehow they're going to replace it. A lot of companies do it on a case-by-case basis, so don't don't risk that. Okay, so just get acquainted with that. And yeah, so that's really kind of that in a nutshell as far as the bar bending. Short answer again, yes it will over time. It's not going to be something that happens overnight, but in the long run, leaving a heavily loaded bar will result in the bar starting to bend a little bit. And if you've ever seen somebody do like a heavy back squat, you can see the bar flex around them, heavy clean, heavy split jerk, whatever it is. So if you have any questions, be sure to hit us up and we'll be kind of transitioning over to, we've talked about ways to not drop a barbell, but we're also going to get into, other surfaces not to drop barbells on. Again, it could be damaging the internal components or the actual integrity of the shaft of the bar. So we'll kind of get into that in a future episode. Thanks, we'll see you next week.